Hi everybody, welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare's Battle Royale, otherwise known as Warzone. And what we've got here is a full Warzone quad squad victory commentary walkthrough, call it what you will, from the drop right until the final victory. So as you can see, we've got a sort of northerly path of the aeroplane, so we're trying to jump as far away as is practical from the flight path. And in my experience, where you have a Warzone victory or a PUBG victory or any of the battle royales, whenever you have a victory where it doesn't involve respawning in because of the gulag, you tend to have this sort of flight path. The worst type of flight path for me is often the one that goes straight down the middle. Because with this sort of flight path and this sort of circle, what happens is you're guaranteed to be on the quiet side of the circle. So what that means is you're jumping a long way from the flight path, because generally more people fly and land along the course of the flight path. And as you can see, we're also flying to the edge of the circle. And we've got the sea at our backs, so that means most people probably aren't going to be behind us as we're looting up. And then as we move in towards the centre of the circle, which is probably going to be moving north in this case, we're going to be moving through areas where there's less people. And as you start to move towards where the original flight path was, that's where most people are. So it's a good circle. And this is a great point I wanted to sort of work on and talk about in this video, is when we talk about how to win Warzone matches, unless you're an incredible gunfighter, so unless you're absolutely unbelievable with your controller or your keyboard or mouse, you can't turn on Warzone and say, right, I'm going to win this game. You just can't. And the reason for that is because there are so many random elements at play across each game of Warzone. Everything from the flight path to the circle to the loot, in this case to the teammates, what the enemies do. There's all this stuff. However, what you can say is that if I follow a series of sensible strategies and tactics over a number of games of Warzone, I'm probably going to have a chance of getting close and even winning one. And that's the way I like to think about Warzone. That's the kind of mindset I like to have, in the fact that I'm not thinking about, right, I really want to win this particular game. It's, I wouldn't mind winning this series of games that I'm playing today or this evening. Or, to be honest, I wouldn't mind just getting to the top 10. If I get to the top 10 of a game, whether that be solo squads, trios, quads, or I guess we're going to get duos at some point, that's fine by me. And every game is a learning experience as well. So you're learning more about the map, you're learning more about the weapons, and you learn more from the games where you lose, where you don't do well, than the games where you do well. There's something in statistics called survivor's bias, and it kind of comes from, you've probably seen videos about this already, but it comes from during the Second World War. They were looking at American bombers going over Germany and trying to figure out how they could improve the bombers so that more of them would survive, because they had terrible attrition rates, flying over Germany during the day, being shot down by flak and German aeroplanes and stuff like that. And so they would look at the planes that came back and go, right, okay, well, they've got all these holes along this bit of the wing, so we should put more armour on there, and then they've got these holes there, put armour there, until somebody pointed out and said, well, no, you can't do that, because the ones that come back, the survivors, they've survived. So we can't look at them to decide how we should improve them. We need to look at the planes that were shot down, because they're the ones that didn't make it. And of course, the ones that got shot down they were hit, like in the cockpits or in the engines or in along the fuselage, where the main sort of control, I guess, lines were, and that's where you needed to put the extra armour. So this kind of comes from the idea with Warzone, and the fact that actually when you win a game of Warzone, You don't always learn that much from it, because it's often it seems to everything goes like clockwork, and that's what happens in this game, because we don't actually have to move very far from where we start off. I get a very lucky quad kill with the RPG on a whole team that I think they're just standing around a buy box, or their vehicle is, and it explodes and it kills all of them. And then we're by that buy box, so we keep buying UAVs, and we've got all the equipment we could ever need, and the circle keeps coming to us, and it's only with the very final closing of the very final circle that we actually have to leave the building that we're in. And you can't plan for that. You can't plan for that situation. But what you can do is play a series of games. And if you play a series of games where you and your squad, or by yourself if you're playing solos, get yourself into those final situations, you can then take advantage of those lucky circles that you get. But you can only do that if you get yourself into that position. And you've probably heard me talk about, probability and percentages when it comes to especially PUBG, but I've talked about it in some of my Warzone videos as well. And taking probability and applying that to your chances of winning. And the example I always tend to use is the top 10 example. And if you kind of say, well, look, because of all the random things that happen in the game, once you get to the top 10, 10 teams left, or 10 individuals left in solos, because of the randomness of where that final circle might be, and the equipment that people have, and the taxes they might use, if you just say it's random, how many games do you have to get into the top 10 before your chances of winning one of those games goes above 50%? So you go odds on to actually win it. And the answer is 7. If you get to 7 games, your probability of actually having won one of those games will be 52%. And if you get into the top 10 8 times, that then jumps up to 57%. And if you can get into the top 10 10 times, you then have a 65% chance not of winning the next game, but of winning one of those 10 games. So that's how you do it. And an easier way to think about this, I think, is that if, as you're jumping in and you're diving in and you're thinking, right, I'm going to take out this contract, hunt out this other team, or I'm going to go to this hot area, or I'm going to land on the flight path, or I'm going to go somewhere like airport. Think about all those times where you do that and you die early, and maybe you win your gulag, but then you haven't got enough equipment to carry on, and you die again. That could have been the circle in that game where everything went right for you if only you had survived. So you don't know when that circle would be. Actually, the good thing about Warzone, actually, if you do some of the domination type contracts, you can get to know where the final circle is. But if you don't, by dying early, by not letting yourself survive until the final 10, you're potentially missing out on those God circles, I guess we could call them. The ones where you go, oh God, we were really lucky there. Well, you're not really lucky. You've made your own luck by letting yourself get to that position and playing all those other games where you haven't had lucky circles, where the circle shifted and you've had to run over an open field via a stadium, or a contract has been taken out on you and a team of semi-pro players have decided to hunt you all down and they kill you, or someone gets a lucky lock-on with a missile launcher and takes out your helicopter. All those things, because you've been playing all those games and trying to get into the top 10 and getting into the top 10 but not winning, they've all fed into this one opportunity you get when you do get there. So that's also another argument for kind of keeping things simple as well. Sometimes, you'll see when I do my videos, especially about solo Warzone victories and PUBG victories, I talk about moving around to the quiet side of the circle and doing something called a hard shift. So a hard shift would be you're moving into the circle, and then the circle shifts to the opposite side of the map, say near the edge of the map. And instead of just carrying straight on to the circle where you'd be going across some hike, some high volume of enemy players areas, you actually jump in a vehicle and you drive all the way around to the other side of the map and hide in a bush and wait to see what happens. I found with Warzone this doesn't always work very well, and often you're better off just taking the simplest path, which is straight into the circle, but doing it sensibly, going from cover to cover, listening out, popping UAVs, getting your custom loadout drop in, and using things like your heartbeat sensors to see where enemy players are as well. Now, something I want to talk about as well before I'll just leave you with the gameplay and you can kind of watch it, is also about figuring out what's the best guns for you and practicing. And that's something I spend quite a lot of time doing, because often you'll get close to a good gun. Maybe you'll see another player using it, you'll see a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer using it, and you'll think, alright, I want to give a go with the MP7 or the M4 or something like that. And then this is where owning the full version of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 really comes into its own, because you can play bot matches against games with lots of bots, say level bots, and you can try out different versions of guns just to find out which one has that nice combination of aim down, sight, speed. Here we go, is the quad kill. What's this? That was cool. And that kind of leads me to a situation where one of my favourite guns at the moment is the MP7, which you'll probably go, well, yeah, everybody's using an MP7, but I use the MP7 with the flip 4x sight on it, so it's got a hollow and another sight, so it can actually work at 4x. And you might say, well, wait a minute, Rob, that's a bit mental, is it? Why would you want to put a 4x on a submachine gun? Well, the reason is that quite often, especially in solos, if you're engaging somebody at distance, it's not always about trying to kill that other person. It's about just getting them to bugger off and to go away from you, to give you an opportunity to get behind cover or move into the circle. And the MP7 with the 4x can do that. You're not going to kill many people at long range with it, because it just doesn't do enough damage, but you'll hit them a few times and knock a few of their armour plates off, which will mean they'll go behind cover, which then gives you an opportunity to either close that distance or fire a rocket at them, or sort of flank around and move out and move into a safer position and live to fight another day. So where we've ended up now in this particular gameplay, this is really where we virtually end up at the end of the game. In fact, I think this is exactly where we end up at the end of the game. We go back to the building before, so we're 12 minutes in to the game, and the game lasts approximately 25 minutes, and this is where the circle ends. So anyway, hopefully that's given you some food for thought about Warzone and kind of playing the numbers, you know, and it's all about that series of games, playing a large number of games to give yourself the chance of having won one of those series of games. And with sheer probability, it means that it's impossible to have lots of great games in a row. You'll have to have loads of games when you die at 140th, 145th, 120th. That will happen. But eventually, if you keep following the nice, simple strategies of jumping far, playing the edge of the circle, not making too much noise, listening out for enemies, and then finding some good cover, eventually you'll get a circle like this where everything comes to you. You don't have to move. Everybody is fighting each other. They're all wiping each other out as they're coming into the circle, and you just have to mop up, stay alive, finish off the remainder, and get the Warzone victory. So there we go. I'll leave it with you. By all means, zoom ahead probably to 20 minutes into the video. We can actually see stuff happening, but because I haven't done that many Warzone victories videos, I want to sort of leave the complete gameplay, you know, warts and all, so you can see exactly what's going on, the mistakes we make, the mistakes I make, and how eventually that feeds into victory. But anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully you found this useful. Hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more of the same, and of course I will see you again soon. No,
I
stay.
I see him across.
Are they close?
I'm not sure if it might be alias and I'm seeing enemies.
I'm going back in my house. Can't see anybody.
I'm I thought but I might have just seen that, the picture of anti-aliasing.
Moving up.
Oh, there's a gas mask here. In fact, I think you pointed it out earlier, didn't you? So I'm keeping an eye sort of northwest-ish.
I'm looking southeast at the bridge. Of course, we may have ghosts, but we don't know if our teammates do.
Yes. Okay, got 2 vehicles far. I'll keep you updated. See if they're coming towards us.
Right, the nearest enemies I can see are over there. There, in fact. That's the nearest enemy I can see on the map. Over by the buy station, sort of there.
Enemies in the area.
Well, you've got 13 grand. I was about to moan that one of our guys has got like 10 grand, but then...
Come and get it if you want, mate.
No, I don't need it for anything. I can't buy anything else.
Oh, I suppose I could go to the buy station and keep putting up UAVs, can I?
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
Still in the circle. We've moved since this game began.
Okay, UAV going up.
UAV entering the AO.
Right, there's enemies. There's enemies sort of northwest. Enemies there.
Moving.
Right, so there's
on
someone
top of the
coming
building,
closer.
the big tall building. There's someone.
UAV entering the AO.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going back.
People coming in from every direction.
Right, I'm going back to your build. This building looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for
Yeah,
resupply.
people are coming in from the south and west, and there's
Oh God!
people
Look at them
east
all.
of us.
I think it's. I tried to put 2 UAVs up at the same time. I've still got a spare one, and I have got a droney thing. There's people get on that building to our south.
On top of the tall building, northeast, there's definitely people where the yellow mark is.
This other house might be better across here. This one,
Small caliber.
because we can look through the windows rather than being out on the roof. Let's go. I'll close that other door. Come on, guys, come over here.
Moving up.
It's better. See what I mean? Nothing on my heartbeat sensor.
You're right, I'll look southeast with my heartbeat sensor if you keep looking sort of... Right, pretty much someone over by the buy station where you killed everyone.
Gas is moving
Right.
in.
Saw the
New
red
safe
dot
zone
on the map.
located.
Okay.
Right, someone dropping in on the roof over there.
Contact.
Just parachuted in south, due south.
Okay, I'm keeping an eye at northwest.
You can see him. Hit him, but obviously over there.
Yeah.
In the area.
Actually, it's towards
a helicopter on the roof, which is probably why. It's that helicopter that we saw earlier. Yep, he's taken it. But there were quite a lot east of us across the river the last time we did UAV, so people might be coming from that direction. I see people due east. Knocked one. Well, I didn't knock him. I knocked his arm off. I see someone else.
Okay, people coming in behind us now. From a team coming from this way.
Yep,
Probably in the building
1, 2,
opposite us.
3.
Oh my god, we are surrounded.
Enemy UAV overhead.
There's a trophy system in there.
Enemies in the area.
Oh, there was.
Enemies in the area.
There's a team in a helicopter. We are in the centre of the field.
Enemies in the area.
My gosh.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Oh, I'm down. Guy just outside. Oh no, I've got self-revive. Don't. Fuck, we're in the circle again. Guys are going to be coming up the stairs. Yeah, coming up the stairs. God, we're still in a circle. Right, people downstairs, absolutely. We can get on the roof of this building.
Right, I knocked one. Right, southwest.
Below us as well. Down guy.
Guy coming in. New west.
To the left. Hostiles in the area. Safe zone relocated. Got a spotted bastard.
Pop in the UAV. I don't know where the other guys are. I think they're in the building. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Well done. That was well played.
What a well, before we all made it to the end of, did we all make it to the end? What a win! And 13 kills between us. Brilliant. Well done, everybody.